the biggest hack that I give people about parenting is not about trying to understand how your children see the world. Frankly, you can't. Their brain is at a whole different developmental level than your adult brain. It's very hard to be able to correctly assess where and how they're thinking. But what you know for a fact is that every child, as it ages, every child from day to day, what they're seeking is more and more control of the world around them. Guaranteed. So as a parent, oftentimes what we struggle with our kids is the fight for control. They want something, we want something different, and then we just overpower them because we're the parent. Well, what we have found because of the agency is you can also use a technique that we at the agency called a false dilemma. A false dilemma is when you artificially only create two options.
Okay.
Now, in analysis, a false dilemma is a terrible thing because you're basically like, oh, this bad thing happened and it happened because of this or this, and that's it. And then you don't consider anything else. So false dilemma in analysis is a fallacy. But when it comes to giving somebody the perception of choice, when you're giving somebody this idea that they have a choice when in fact they don't, false dilemma is super useful. So for both of our children, we were able to save most of the bedtime routine fights about brushing your teeth.
Are you referring to do you want to use the yellow toothbrush or the green toothbrush?
Yes, exactly right. Do you want to brush your teeth now or in 5 minutes? Right? There's no way out of brushing your teeth, but they still feel like they get a sense of control in making a choice. And oftentimes at a childhood developmental stage, they're more excited to have power to make a choice than they are to even realize that the choice they're making is not a choice they really want to make.
Right. Yeah, it pairs very well with this parenting approach called love and logic, which involves educating your children about the consequences of any decision that they may make, equipping them with the knowledge to do so intelligently, and then letting them make the decision. So it's not, for my 16-year-old sons, it's not no porn, don't touch it, you're in trouble if I find you, whatever, on Pornhub or whatever. It's instead dedicated time spent on the Your Brain on Porn website, learning about dopaminergic desensitization, learning about the sex slave industry, and basically educating them to the point where they're very empowered, there's no forbidden fruit in the house. They just feel as though they're equipped to make the right decision. And when you pair that with setting a good example yourself, right? Like you can't say, we don't do screens at the dinner table and you're glancing for 6 important emails during dinner. Instead, the phone's just not on the table. They see that, and it's just not a thing that we do. So love and logic parenting style it kind of goes hand in hand with the illusion of control example that you just gave.
Yeah. And as a parent, it is an incredibly useful thing because you want to raise children that will make good choices. But the first step to making good choices is teaching them how to make a choice at all. So before you can get to a 16-year-old who's choosing voluntarily not to watch porn, you have to first create a 5-year-old who is choosing when they brush their teeth.
Yep, exactly. I love that approach.